So, 2 weeks ago, I felt really spiritually connected to Dav because earlier that day, I had gone to Target and I really resisted getting Frankenberry. I was like, I don't need to spend the money or the calories or the sugar, but I decided to get Frankenberry. 'Tis the season. And then Dav disclosed to me that he would purchase Count Chocula, and I felt very justified. So, Will, how do you feel that this makes you the Boo Berry of the group?
Uh, means that I am a ghost, and I can live with that.
Well, you can't ghost. That's by definition of a ghost. You wouldn't live with that.
That's even better, you know?
Aw. I mean, there's also Fruity Yummy Mummy and Fruit Brute, who's a werewolf, but they're like so esoteric that
Yeah, Fruit Brute's a total...
you even know Fruit Brute?
No, but like, just the name, I kind of want to beat him up.
'Cause he's a brute.
No, this is bullshit. I want to be Boo Berry.
Why'd you get Count Chocula if you want to be Boo Berry?
Because the people who live in my house prefer Count Chocula. I don't. I like Boo Berry the best.
Okay,
Yeah,
Will,
you probably like Boo Berry the best.
Oh!
Yummy mummy.
Suck it up, Count Chocula. This is how it's gonna go. Rev up those fryers and fill those champagne glasses to the tippy top. It's West Coast Toast and Roast with Tommy, Will, and Dav. Welcome back to West Coast Toast and Roast. I'm Tommy, the Frankenberryest of the bunch.
I'm Will, I'm the Boo to your Berry.
And I'm Dav, the self-servant who wishes he was Boo Berry.
We got a lot of news to roll through today, but we always start with our toasts and roasts. It went Will, Dav, Tommy last time. Do we want to keep it that way?
Sure.
All right, Will, ball's in your court.
I guess, no better way to start than talking about what I'm going to toast first, which is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I saw for the first time with you guys. It's a pretty cool movie. I like that it's very low budget. I was talking with my voiceover coach, and he said it's a perfect example of how having such a small budget and being limited by what you can do can make just such a cool film. The actors are clearly not actors. They're clearly just some of like Toby Hopper's friends. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because it works well in this like movie. I think Leatherface and the family are all really good. Probably the highlight of it is when Leatherface kills this one guy. This guy does what what Dav describes as a Drake and Josh scream, and I've been watching that video probably once a day because it makes me laugh so hard.
It is very Drake and Josh.
You need to send me the link one more time, and I can work it into this upload.
Okay, I will send you the Drake and Leatherface, the Texas Drake Saw Massacre, if you will. Did learn that the dude screams that way because that was like the first time he'd ever saw Leatherface, and Toby Hopper didn't tell him that Leatherface was coming out, so he was just genuinely terrified. And I think that's awesome, but it's also utterly hilarious.
Yeah. I like this movie too. I hope we can check out some more documentaries about Texas.
Yeah, that was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I get from what I hear, the sequels. I know the only other Texas Chainsaw I've seen is Texas Chainsaw 3D, which is widely hated, and it is like objectively bad, but I get kind of a kick out of it because it gives Leatherface like an anime family history with Alexandra Daddario, and I get a kick out of that.
Really?
Yeah. He has like a descendant who's like the final girl of the movie. It's an old movie. That's kind of a spoiler. Oh well. And it's bad. No one likes that movie, but I like it. All the Texas Chainsaw sequels from I hear are like Gremlins 2 before Gremlins 2, and that they're directly parodic. I don't think anyone really got it, so they just kind of fizzled out. And I think this is the only one that's like really revered.
Yeah. It's interesting too, because I didn't think they called him Leatherface in the movie. When the hitchhiker like called him Leatherface, I'm like, what the fuck? I always assumed it was like a fan name, like Doom Guy.
Pinhead.
Yeah, or Pinhead. I never thought they would just like that would be his name, but it makes sense.
I can't believe his parents named him that. Just coming out of the womb, like, that's a Leatherface right there.
His dad named him that, and then his mom said, bro, don't do that."
Oh yeah, I mean, doesn't it in a different movie? It does say that they were siblings, right?
I don't think we need another movie to confirm that.
Yeah.
Ooh. Apologies to all citizens of Texas. That's not a stereotype I'm employing on you. Texas is pretty nice, actually.
It's more of an Appalachian stereotype.
Yeah, true. Appalachian Chainsaw Massacre. That'd be kind of a fun movie.
That's basically what Wrong Turn is, isn't it?
I don't know that one.
Never seen Wrong Turn?
No, I think it's in my list. I think it's in my watch list. I'll have to check that out. Yeah, no, I think it's like it's kind of a slow burn, but that last like 5 or so minutes of just like unhinged mania is, I think,
that's really good.
Ever. I almost don't want to describe it or give it away, but it. There's an injury Leatherface sustains. You guys probably know what I mean because it's the only major injury he sustains. Do you know what I mean?
No.
I think so.
When he nicks himself in the leg with his own chainsaw.
Oh yeah.
I read online that was real.
Oh shit.
I think it was a prop in the first place, but it still probably hurt like a bitch.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably just like remove the chains like they do for like Halloween nights. No, that last shot is just super haunting. But yeah, that's my first toast. I'll move it on to Mr. Dav.
Okay. I've had a pretty good month, so I really only have like one thing to roast. I'll save that for later.
That's probably one thing I'm going to toast, but go ahead.
All right. Well,
no, go ahead with the positive things first, I meant.
All right, yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and toast the PlayStation 5. Got a couple weeks ago. Haven't really been on my computer much since because it's just genuinely, unironically, a fantastic console. I'm primarily a PC gamer. Kind of avoid consoles except for like Nintendo, or if there's an exclusive I really want to play, like Persona or something. But PS5 is actually like a huge step forward, honestly. Like technically, the controllers are fantastic. The games so far are really good. I've just been really enjoying my time with it.
Good. Just looks so much better too.
Sorry, what was that?
I was just going to say it looks so much better as well.
Yeah, it's I mean, running Spider-Man Miles Morales at 60 frames is amazing with ray tracing on.
I was going to ask what titles you've been playing, but it sounds like pretty succinctly that one and any others really enthralling you.
Yeah, so both of the Spider-Man games. I mean, I platinumed Miles Morales in about 3 days just because I got so sucked into it. I've also been playing some PS4 games that weren't running so great on because I have a launch PS4 and it does not run even like the late stage PS4 games very well. So I was kind of holding off until I got the PS5. So like Gravity Rush, also platinumed that. Fantastic game. I've been playing Deathloop, which is pretty good. There's a whole bunch of opinions about it. Mine is just basically the AI is really dumb, the game is really easy, but it's a lot of fun. And Judgement, which I will come back to later, but that's sort of the bulk of what I've been playing the last couple weeks.
Is there a lot of opinions on Deathloop? Because I thought I was the only one who wasn't crazy about it.
No, I mean, like IGN and some of the major reviewers put out like 10 out of 10, which is obnoxiously high. It is not that good of a game.
I mean, IGN doesn't. Yeah, IGN isn't legitimate journalism anymore.
No.
Since Sidney Goodman left, he still has my heart.
Yeah, I don't know if they got bought out for that review score or what, because it's not a 10 out of 10. It's a very good game. It is not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination.
That might have ruined. I mean, part of it was that I'm just not good at shooters, which is why I traded it for Doom Eternal, which is like the shooter you can play while remaining kind of smooth-brained. Part of it is that I just found the characters really obnoxious. Because that's maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think, like, with all the narrative surrounding, like, when someone was like, it's a shooter with Groundhog Day, like a Groundhog Day narrative, I was like, oh, you can do cool stuff with that. But I don't feel like that, like, permeated outside of the narrative. I guess I didn't have a reason to expect it to, and yet I was still a little let down.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't really do a good job of establishing what the rules are within the narrative either. I'm still kind of confused onto, like, who can remember what and why only certain people can remember some things.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on Deathloop because it is sort of like the lowest point of the PS5 experience I've had so far, when everything else has been fantastic, and I am still liking it.
Nice. Yeah, I've been like I said, I've been playing Doom myself on my PS5. Dav, could you imagine not having a PS5 in this day and age?
My God, I mean, I can, but I understand it. It's so hard to get them. It's so hard. You have to be like winning the lottery.
I was hoping we could bully Will for a second, but
I will bully him for.
You'd be perfectly compassionate and a good friend as well. Either way,
just avoid the scalpers. But
yeah, definitely.
Overall, I mean, I'm sure you guys, even if you're not like hardcore PC gamers, have heard about how difficult it is to get parts right now, especially GPUs. I would love to upgrade my computer with like a 30 series GPU, but a PS5 is still better than my current PC, so I'll take it for now, basically.
Not one, but two separate, relatively big YouTubers I follow have posted like story videos of how seeking out new PCs has just made them lose their minds.
It's impossible. If you don't already have a computer, even if you have a computer and it breaks down, you're screwed. There is nothing you can do to get parts.
Damn. Golly. I'll just stick with my laptop that can run Battletoads perfectly fine, and I'm good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
More like Battle Blows.
I was gonna yell at you that you hadn't played it, but you tried it, and like I had you try Battletoads, and it's like it was the same reaction as when you're in a hyper-interpretive devised play, and Will is in the audience, and I like come see you in the audience all excited, and you're just like, no, it's good. Yeah, it's good, it's interesting.
Well, the thing is, you also, like, Brandon and I were both there, our buddy Brandon, and you came up with the idea to let Brandon control the punches and me control the directions.
That was my idea?
Yes?
I don't remember
because you were like, you guys both got to play this, so Will, you do one.
I think because you, like, weren't... I think it was because... Maybe I'm deflecting here, but that sounds like something I would say if, like, you're not getting along with the controls, and I just suggested that.
Well, I don't know. It was pretty crazy.
I don't remember suggesting. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering.
You half-assed two things.
Yeah, can't whole ass one.
I guess so. Play Battletoads. Thanks for bringing up Battletoads, Dav.
Did I do that? I don't remember.
No.
You gaslighting me into bringing up Battletoads?
Yes, I'm absolutely gaslighting you. PS5, I still don't know what ray tracing is, but it sounds like it's worth it.
Think like reflections and really pretty lighting.
Oh. It's not that to me.
So Sherm, looks like it's your time to
If you good with that, Dav?
Yep, I'm good. I'll pass it off to you.
Sweet. I'm going to take the game train like 2 decades in the past. I found the retro game shop in my neighborhood, right by my favorite coffee store, might I add, Dutch Mafia for life. And I was craving a very particular N64 game because I dug out my N64. And lo and behold, they have it for just the right price I'm looking for, but the Japanese version. And the N64 itself isn't region locked, but the cartridges are different shapes to fit. So the guy took out the data, like the cartridge, like the data card, of the cartridge, unscrewed a $5 N64 game, and put it into an American cartridge so I could play it on my American N64, which is why I've been enjoying a Japanese copy of Yoshi's Story. It's a good thing it's not a lore-heavy game, or I would be very confused by why all the Yoshis are so sad. That is an underrated, really good 2D platformer. I'm really getting a kick out of it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that the one where you like save Baby Mario?
Nope, that is Yoshi's Island. That is on the Super Nintendo. Yoshi's Story is often looked down upon because Yoshi's Island is probably one of the best platformers ever. And I'm not taking that away from it. That is a genuinely really good game. I think there's room for both in my heart. Because Yoshi's Story is much, much easier. It's very much, this is the game you give your, like, kind of a little kid to learn platformers. But I think it's actually super interesting. It takes the Donkey Kong Country approach to graphics, where it's like the 3D model traced over with sprites, and it actually creates this really interesting aesthetic. And it is a 2D platformer, but it's not you go from point A to point B. You clear a stage when you eat a certain number of fruit hidden in the stage. So it's almost a 2D collectathon. And you're playing as this little baby Yoshi. You get to pick your color, and there's like a variety of 5 fruit, and each Yoshi, the fruit also heals you. It gives you more happiness. Each Yoshi is partial to a certain fruit. You get, so like say the red Yoshi likes apples, yellow Yoshi likes bananas. So there's actually kind of a meta, and I like looked at game facts, and people are like, "Huh, real Yoshi Story players only eat melons." I was very fascinated by that. Yeah, it's a cute and it's like, it sounds kind of lame. Oh, you don't just walk into the fruit. You have to stick out your tongue and like grab it, and you can tongue in every direction. It's a lot more interesting than it sounds. There's like one stage where the last melon you need is guarded by a literal like chain of boos, like the Mario enemy. And like it's like a bunch of boos in a row with one big melon in the middle. And every time you step away, it like moves in a certain way. You have to maneuver it just right so you eat the melon without touching the booze.
For a minute, I thought you meant booze as in Booze.
No.
Like a bunch of like drinks around.
No, you're thinking of Yoshi's Bad Fur Day.
With the guys, that game is really funny because they're singing poop.
They're singing poop. Funniest shit I've ever seen.
Funniest shit I've ever seen. I feel like this is the kind of game that probably gave kids nightmares, because when you die as a Yoshi, do you know the name of the enemy that like looks like a Magic Koopa or a K-Mech, but with the red cape and like the little helicopter thing?
Oh my gosh.
I almost want to call them critters, but that's Donkey Kong. A bunch of those float down and carry off your Yoshi and float it off into like Bowser's castle to like foreboding funeral bells.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I feel like this is absolutely the kind of like the cutscene you skip as a little kid, and then you can't use that color Yoshi again until you get a game over. So that's like your life system.
That's a little brutal, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it has the same energy of just a low-key Kirby platformer, where it's like just entertaining enough that's not like a baby game, but it's pretty low-key and it puts me in a good mood.
Oh, that's fun.
You enjoy it regardless.
Yeah. It has some of the best sound design of it. When get a lot of funny honk noises when you step on an enemy or fall over. It's great. N64 Yoshi, I'd say, is best Yoshi, because this is a baby Yoshi. So picture a Yoshi, but with no neck or long legs. He's a little tuna can.
I hate that.
Great. It'll be in the thumbnail.
Oh. That just sounds very disturbing. Sounds like a little bit body horror.
Yeah, when you see it, it'll work out.
You're just gonna be like, you'll like it or else.
Yeah. Alright, back to you, Will.
Right. I would like to prematurely roast the final Super Smash Bros. DLC character that is going to be announced on October 5th. I do this because every Smash Bros. Game has ended off on a disappointment, and I am expecting this to be the same.
Can I stop you right there?
Yes.
Let's not get political in here. No matter who's announced, they're a king.
No.
You can continue, Will.
No, let's just... Okay, so the final character in... Before DLC was Incineroar, which, regardless of whether or not you like it, is a bit of a... Okay, that's a character.
Yeah.
Final DLC character that was supposed to be the final character was Byleth, which is absolutely a huge letdown. This character I'm expecting to be the same. And so... Plus, they already deconfirmed Dante, which was a profoundly stupid choice. But I love Smash Bros. They don't know how to end it, so I am thinking it's probably going to be like a Pokemon.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's sort of what I was expecting as like a Pokemon.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's going to be the Shin Megami Tensei 5 protagonist.
No, it's probably not.
Why do you think so?
I think them having Joker in there already kind of covers their bases, and I don't think they would do another one.
I mean, having Shulk in there should have covered their bases for Xenoblade, but they put in 2 more characters from that.
That's fair.
I think
I just can't see it happening.
I think you'll all be whistling a different tune when history looks fondly upon my evaluation for who the final Smash character will be. A certain character currently enjoying his 25th anniversary would be very relevant.
Annoyed?
Annoyed?
You see, there is an NES...
Guys, they're going to put Kenneth Lamar Noid in this game. If you don't know, for those of you who are at home, Kenneth Lamar Noid was a guy who thought the Domino's pizza campaign of the Noid was about him, so he broke into a Domino's, held it hostage, and was like, put the CEO of Domino's on the phone. And then he was eventually baited out because he forced the hostages to make him a pizza, and while he was eating it, they left.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Yo Noid is actually a Nintendo game, so it could happen.
Yeah. Also, Tommy, saying 25th anniversary, it's Sonic's 25th anniversary.
It's Persona's 25th anniversary.
Well, that means it could be Eggman.
I don't know about that.
It could be. I could see that happening.
I'm just saying, when it does turn out to be the character that it should rightfully be, I know you two,
Dante's already in Mii costume, Tommy.
I think but Dante's not having his 25th anniversary.
No, but you said the character it should rightfully be.
I think we all know. We're all afraid to say it.
It's Dante.
Yeah, Leisure Suit Larry.
Certain character who spins and just has fun.
When Dante shoots his guns down, he does spin.
I would like Dante as much as the next guy, but we just need to look at things realistically.
I mean, I know who you're mentioning, but he was one of the characters that Harada blacklisted.
Well, that's just one man. That's just, we'll just have to see.
Take your copium.
We'll just have to see.
God, it's like that one meme, and it's like all the arrows shooting at the one guy, except it's Tommy, and it's like what it's like to be the only Crash Bandicoot fan in this podcast.
One Flynn Rider from Tangled?
No, it's it's one of those edgy Facebook memes where it's like a bunch of arrows shooting at like a guy with a dark face. And
I know it.
Like the usual caption is like what it's like, seeing the truth from all these, libtards or whatever.
Well, Will, yeah. I think we'll all be in agreement when history looks fondly upon me.
I mean, in the words of Darth Maul, unfortunately for you, history will not see it that way.
I mean, at this point, I'm either going to be very excited about the last character, or I'm not going to care at all. It's because if they're in my top 3, then I'll be happy about it. But otherwise, I'm just happy that Smash is finally going to just end. I'm kind of tired of the speculation. Reimu, Kiryu, and Kat.
From Gravity Rush?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, I agree
any
with
of those three
Kiryu.
would be great.
Well, if you want to play as Cat in a Smash, like, if I
No,
got a game
I'm not
for
really
you,
even think about that. Let's just not. No.
So, Dav, it is your turn, and then I think Tommy's probably. I'm going to talk about that, but the thing Tommy is going to talk about comes out on the same day of that Sakurai Presents, and I feel like that's not a coincidence.
It's probably not.
Wait, are you predicting I'm gonna talk about Nickelodeon All Stars?
Yeah,
It's not out yet.
I know, but I thought you'd be like excited for it.
I am excited for it. There are things I could talk about if you wanted to pick my brain for it, but I was gonna wait to actually play it before I shoot my mouth off.
Okay, fair enough. Well, Dav, I will pass it to you.
Okay. I'm gonna get my little roast in here. It's one that I'm really not invested in. Free Guy, the movie.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I have not watched it. I have seen one clip from it, and it completely shut me off from ever watching it.
What was the
clip? Will and I both saw it and kind of enjoyed it, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but what was the clip?
He pulls out Captain America's shield and then uses a lightsaber.
Yeah, honestly, I know like Disney owns the studio now. I did think it was kind of fun. I like that moment.
The whole movie is nothing like that, I would argue.
Maybe in context it makes more sense. A lot of the marketing that I've seen from this movie is kind of disconnected from reality.
Yeah, no,
it makes sense.
Well, ask Will. I thought it would suck too, and
yeah, I thought Tommy was gonna come out being like, "I hate this."
It didn't set my world on fire or anything, but I thought it was a perfectly fun way to waste a couple hours.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll give it a try if it's like free or something eventually. It's not turning me off as much as Space Jam 2, but it's still. I'm just not a fan of that sort of the way that movies try to be hip and new.
The way everything needs to be Ready Player One now.
Oh yeah, that's true. The whole bringing over every property you own just because you own them is a weird way of flexing. Kind of wish something would just exist on its own.
Yeah. I'd say that's like the only really like intrusive crossover moment in that movie. Maybe like one or two other small things, right, Will?
No, not even. That's really the only one.
There's like a portal gun they briefly lampshade, but that's about it.
I mean, I'm down with that. At least portal references are 10 years ago before they got stale.
I'd say what surprised me
about this movie... is a lie.
What surprised me about this movie is that it's like I was expecting something between Marvel humor and Deadpool humor, but they actually do. It's like a. I'm trying to articulate this. There's a level of, I don't want to say social commentary because I feel that's generous, but the jokes have at least something to say in a way that made it feel more like they like very slightly they're not, I don't want to say they're edgy, but they very slightly edge on something that made it feel almost like, aptly enough, a PG-13 Deadpool, which sounds like damning praise for me because I hate Deadpool, but I'm just trying to articulate that it's not like that left a mark humor.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well,
like actual jokes.
There's like one part, because bear in mind, Guy is an NPC in a video game who is not worldly. He's like, I heard this great joke from one of the gamers on this server. It's about a homosexual and a man in a wheelchair, and like the other character just stops him dead right there. It says, don't take jokes from them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's kind of good.
Well, Dav, looks like your roast has been roasted.
That's fair enough. Like I said, I don't have a lot of investment in that, and if it's actually good, then fair enough. But on that note, I'll pass it over to Tommy.
Alrighty. I'm also going to set to roast. I talked about Yoshi a moment ago. I'm going to talk about something green that I don't like. The film The Green Inferno. I like a good Brussels sprout.
You actually watched The Green Inferno?
Yes. So here's why. So that movie came out in like 2012, 2013. I'm
2015.
2015?
It had to have been because I know I was in college when I was watching the trailer.
That makes the story way more embarrassing because I was like scared senseless by that trailer. It freaked me out. And I was hoping to lampshade that I was younger at the time. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. I could have sworn it was. Look at IMDb says 2013.
Oh, so maybe I was just remembering it in college. That's my bad. I take full responsibility.
I was like 15 or 16, and that trailer like scared the daylights out of me. And I was like, no way, I'm ever watching that movie. But you ever like have that thought, then years later see it easily available, and just your morbid curiosity gets the better of you? And I've since then, actually developed a taste for scary movies. I'm not like a little chicken anymore. And I watched it, and it was dumb as hell. I don't think this movie is held in any kind of repute, but I don't think I'm saying anything new when I say it's stupid. But I had to do it for myself, for scared 16-year-old Tommy, to see that this movie is just silly as all get out.
It's really dumb.
Really dumb.
It's really, really dumb. I don't know if it wants to be Cannibal Holocaust, but it's.
I have to admit, that has to be the inspiration. I feel
there's
like.
Probably an inspiration there, but it's just stupid. It's really stupid.
It's like
we have weekly movie nights. For those of you at home who don't know, and I've always wanted to watch that just somehow.
No, you're not. Well, you remember what I texted you, and I'm going to explain that in a moment. And I think that would. So first, I think like one of my least favorite things a movie can be is like not anti. So this movie, you can be a liberal viewed movie, you can be a conservative viewed movie. At least you're standing up for something. This movie is anti-protest, and nothing pisses me off more than that. It's
really
it is a South Park, The Hunt. If you care too much, you're fucking lame movie. Enough. That's what I have less respect for that than I have for like a conservative weirdo. Because at least, even if it's stupid, they're standing up for something.
Is that like what The Hunt was?
Oh yeah,
The Hunt is stupid. Hunt paints all the leftists as sociopaths and all the rednecks as rednecks.
Enlightened centrism, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because this movie's all about. Because this movie, it wants to make a message on the detrimentalism of white people coming into indigenous lands to quote unquote help. I'm down for that. That is totally a thing you can criticize. The protesters at the very start of the movie that you're supposed to find obnoxious are protesting for the wages of sanitation staff and janitors at a college university. So the people who made this movie clearly just hate protest. They clearly just hate people who care about things. It doesn't actually have to do, especially considering all that happens is the activists go to the jungle and their plane crashes. So I guess the takeaway is don't crash your plane into jungles, ?
Don't ride on planes.
Yeah. All the, this is definitely a cast where the writer thought to himself, I'm going to put every kind of liberal I hate in this big group of liberal activists. So there's like a leader who's like very intense and mysterious about it. And there's the one who's on a lot of medication. She's like, oh, I have to take pills for this and pills for that because liberals and their medications, man. Fuck that.
I think the movie would have made a lot more sense if they willingly went out to this area. Because it could have been paralleled to something, and I know this comes after this movie came out, but if you remember that guy, that missionary, he went to North Sentinel Island a couple years ago and got killed.
Oh, no, I didn't.
I'm not familiar.
So North Sentinel Island is an island near, I think, India, and it's full of probably a few hundred people who have never been in contact with modern civilization, not for a few hundred years at least. And anybody who gets anywhere near that island usually gets killed by them. Mm-hmm. So this Christian missionary had the idea he was going to spread the word of God to them, and he brought a Bible and stuff, and he went over there, and well, surprise, surprise, they killed him.
Sounds like he had it coming.
So, I mean, if this movie had done something like, they willingly go out to do whatever their goals were in this sort of village, then they face the consequences. I think there would have been at least something to say there, but they really do just end up there by accident.
They do something ostensibly good with a bunch of like construction workers, get in their plane, get ready to leave, and crash where they're not supposed to.
Yeah, in that case, it just villainizes the indigenous people.
Exactly. Yeah. Last thing I want to cover about this movie is that there's a certain point where the character I mentioned a moment ago, who's on a lot of meds, is like, I haven't had my meds in too long. Oh my god. And she's like clutching her stomach. And we're then treated to like an extended sequence of her having diarrhea in the cage. And then I think that's only the second like grossest part of the movie that's not cannibalism. Because then the mysterious leader guy is like, you're gonna all want to clear your heads to think of a good plan, and he just starts jacking it in front of everybody. Like, I'm not even kidding. Just starts touching himself, and everyone else is like, "Ah, dude, gross." And he's like, "It's to clear my head to think of a plan to get us out of here." He's just
damn, what a Chad.
Sigma male mindset.
Stupid movie. They bait a sequel in the ending, but it's 2021. It hasn't happened. I don't think it will.
Probably
I
not.
guess all the main characters die, right?
2 of them stay alive.
Ah.
I spoiled that, but you shouldn't watch this movie anyway.
Yeah, don't watch it.
I think we have time for one more rotation before the big old load of news, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right. As long as that's not cutting you guys off, we might have to, just because we have so much news to get through in a limited amount of time.
Yeah, that's fine.
No biggie.
Okay. Will, back to you.
Let's see. So I'm taking a look at what I have watched recently. I'll go ahead and toast this is an unpopular opinion. I'm going to toast Malignant by James Wan.
We had to get there.
Yeah. I love James Wan. A lot of his movies that even aren't well received, I think, have a great charm to them. Like Dead Silence, I think, is really good. I think I can't say much without spoiling it, but I think, number one, it's a really fucked up idea. Number two, I think that, oh my gosh. I think that some of the shots are just really awesome. And number three, I kind of like how it, toes the line of genuinely creepy and, cheesy 80s horror. So it's definitely up my alley, but I can see why people don't like it.
Dev has a Zendaya face and goes, "I'm people."
Yeah, I didn't really like it.
It was kind of in the middle, because, a lot of it was a little boring to me. It's a bit of a slow burn. I found it a little slow. But when it goes off the rails, I kind of was into it for, just the wackiness factor.
Yeah, it's a really crazy idea.
The next 3 minutes of the podcast contain major spoilers for Malignant.
Isn't it kind of a spiritual retelling of Basket Case in a way?
No.
With the twins thing, doesn't really...
It's a similar premise.
I don't really think so.
I can sort of see the parallels there.
I guess, and it's hard to say again without getting into spoilers. I'll put spoilers for Malignant warning. Twins in this are against each other.
If you don't want to hear spoilers, skip to this part of the video. And then, Tom, you got to edit in the part of the video.
Edit that in, put it in there.
Or work from right. No, I'm kidding.
Some work in.
Kidding. So the twins in this movie are against each other. The twins in Basket Case are working together. That's kind of my distinctive case.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It's also just I find that body horror aspect of the twin being fused to her back just really fucked up.
It's kind of neat looking, just where's my train of thought? The way the twin moves is very is it a practical effect? It kind of looks that way to me.
I think so. I think it's like a stunt performer. Which I think
when
is
it's like, no, I mean when it's on her back, like in the tapes, and it's just like moving its arms up and down.
I think some of that is CGI, but when they there's a scene where they surgically remove it. When that happens, I believe it's practical.
Gotcha. Like, there's things in this movie I think are pretty, like, just questionable choices and a little bit dumb. Like, there's stuff of, like, I don't know why there's just a random 70s disco lady in prison, just very prominently, and why there's, like, why
It's for the style.
Why James Wan really wanted one of the main characters in a princess dress the whole time.
Wait, the whole time?
A lot of the time.
This is like the beginning scene.
It was like one scene, I think.
Okay. In my defense, that's probably one of her 3 defining traits that I walked away with. I'm not trying to trash this movie. I'm just saying I'm just kind of wondering if I would be curious to pick James Wan's brain as to some of those choices.
I mean, I can see why you'd want that. He does have a very specific style. Like there's something that's basically like the James Wan shot, and it's seen in Insidious, The Conjuring, where it's like it's hard to describe it, but if you've seen his movies, you know what I'm talking about. And there's a lot of that in this, and there's a lot of cool like cinematography, so I like that as well.
Yeah. When the twin like takes control and starts like popping like doing breakdance fighting and stomping people's heads, I was like super into it. That's all.
Oh, yeah, the fight choreography was really well done.
Ready to pass the ball?
Yes, Davey, it's up to you.
Okay. For my final toast, I'll be giving it to Judgement, which I have been playing on the PS5, and it is amazing, honestly, so far.
What's Judgement?
It's the spin-off to Yakuza, where you play as a private investigator who is trying to solve a serial killer case.
Interesting. So it's not like Yakuza gameplay.
It is Yakuza game. It's like the beat 'em up gameplay. I think what RGG Studios said they're going to do is make this the beat 'em up gameplay series from now on, and then the standard Yakuza games are going to have the RPG gameplay.
Interesting. Okay, I feel
because Lost Judgment just came out like a couple days ago as we're recording this. It looks like it improves on the first game in every single way, and I'm hearing great things about it, so I'm kind of rushing through this first one. But honestly, the story is pretty captivating. Voice acting is great. Even the dub is pretty good. I'm kind of avoiding the dub because they don't mix it super well with the combat. Like the people you fight will still speak Japanese. It's kind of weird. But
I've always just enjoyed like the pure I guess like authenticity of the Japanese dubs, I'd say.
Yeah. And it's I mean, obviously it's really good voice acting all around in the Japanese version.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, and then it kind of immerses you in the city a bit more because you have like 50 people around the city you're supposed to help and befriend as sort of the side cases. Even the side cases are interesting. The mini games are cool. It has like drone racing, which I thought was super cool.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, overall, it's very much like any other Yakuza game. It's just different characters and story, but it still takes place in Kamurocho, which I never get sick of. Even though they use it in every game, it still always feels fresh to me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
crossover.
I'll have to add that to my list.
Like, do you see characters from Yakuza floating around, or is it relatively contained?
I mean, the main characters so far haven't made even like a reference at all, but sometimes you'll be walking around the city and somebody will say something like, "Oh, I saw Mr. Try and Hit Me walk into a porno shop the other day."
That's like about what I would expect, like just slight references here and there.
Yeah, it really becomes it's like it's super isolated. It kind of cuts out, like you'll reference like, "Oh, the Tojo clan is here and we have to fight them," but they won't really mention Kiryu or Majima by name.
they'll just be like the guy with the eye patch.
I don't even think I've heard that so far. Like, in some cases, it does feel like they don't exist until like you unlock a skill, and it'll be like, oh, some former Yakuza legend learned this to defeat somebody somewhere, and it'll be like a reference to Kiryu. My only complaint with it is so far it hasn't done a very good job of building up the main character as a likable guy at all. He's kind of boring.
I feel like I've heard a little about that. I can't quite remember most of this. I feel like I heard a little, like, some people I followed who are big Yakuza fans having a hard time imprinting on this one just because they don't care for the main guy.
Yeah, and the problem is he's they model him after a real person, like a real celebrity, so they can only do so much with him. Like, he can't sing, so there's no karaoke. It's like part of the agency that prevents them from doing certain things, and he can't go like too silly with it. He can't do anything. I don't think he can take off his shirt, which is kind of the fun part of getting into the fights. And I kind of hoped that they would learn their lesson, because they did the same thing in Yakuza 4, and then that character ended up, or like the actor for that character ended up getting into some drug controversies.
Of course.
So in the remake, they had to just completely replace his model, and I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to make someone like that the main character of a new series. Because evidently, it's also prevented them from putting Judgement on PC, because the agency doesn't want them to mod his character model at all. They don't want any users doing anything like that.
They should just call this character Jesse McCree. I think it fixed the problem.
Yeah, that wouldn't age well at all, but I don't know. That's my only gripe, is the main character and sort of the meta behind it. I really wish they wouldn't do that, and I kind of hope that eventually this series will change to like either end or change to just not have him as the main character anymore.
Yeah.
Fair.
But it's still a fun game. Still highly recommend it, and the whole Yakuza series. Honestly, play every single game if you can. It's amazing.
Still got Zero. Still got my copy of Zero. Waiting for...
And that's like the best one, so you gotta play it.
Will do, eventually.
Yeah, Zero is a ton of fun.
Alright, as long as we're at a point, I'll be ending off our toasts and roasts. This is probably the best comic I've ever read. It is called Arkham Asylum, Living Hell. Are you guys familiar?
Oh yeah, that's just my life.
Come on, man.
I don't really read comics much.
No, but I have not heard of it, The Shermanator, so please enlighten me.
So the premise here is that there's this Wall Street douchebag, Warren White. He got caught on an embezzling scheme, just stealing from millions from a ton of people. And to get out of his federal prison sentence, he pleads insanity. He's like, all right, just got to spend 3 weeks or so in an asylum. I'm off scot-free. That asylum is Arkham Asylum. And he is completely out of his depth. He's dealing with all the other psychos, and it is delightful. And you get just like this really interesting look within Arkham Asylum that you don't always get when the story is from Batman's perspective. He's only briefly in this. And you just get accustomed to the culture and how everyone gets along within Arkham. People like you'll get, and what's so nice about this one too is that even though Joker is briefly in it, you'll get a bit of Poison Ivy. It mostly focuses on this story's unique characters, which is Warren White, the Wall Street guy. He makes friends with a criminal named Humpty Dumpty, who is brilliant. He has one of the best backstories. I don't want to give away much about him. And you get a lot of focus on just like little people within Arkham. You meet like a therapist who talks to the patients there, it's just like, you see her day talking to Riddler and Scarecrow and Mr. Zsasz, and how she's just fucking drained at the end of the day, and how she's tempted to like take payouts to free the criminals, just so like she doesn't have to deal with them in this bullshit underpaid job. It's so good.
That sounds. When did this come out?
It's fairly old. And here's the thing: it's super hard to find a physical copy for some reason. like they're super expensive on Amazon, but on Comixology, I got it like perfectly reasonably. So you pretty much have to read it digitally. Living Hell. This is 2004.
Okay.
Did it remind you of something, or?
No, it sounds so cool. I think also I recently watched a video about like people who try to fake insanity to get the insanity plea. And most of them don't realize that like being in a mental asylum when you're not insane is like torture. It's worse than
totally.
prison.
Is
And
that
so
from
this
that,
kind of
from that criminal psychology YouTube channel?
yes, probably
It's-
thinking of the same one.
It's a banger. I love that.
I think this story is ahead of its time in that way because, like, I thought it was pretty. I would have guessed this was like a 2013-ish story just from the tone and what it seems to take influence from. But I just see certain drawings here and there. But I'm like, but wait, I've seen that drawing of this character for promos since like when I was like young, and it was like this was written when I was 7. It never gets attention when it's like probably the best Gotham-based story I've ever personally observed. It's so good. Oh man, there's a character named Officer Cash. He's a security guard there. He's this big tough guy with a hook for a hand. He was getting Killer Croc back in his cell and he lost his hand to him. And he's telling his doctor, he's like, I still feel like I should be cracking my knuckles or digging dirt out from underneath my nails. The doctor goes, well, those are phantom pains. They're perfectly normal. It happens with amputees such as yourself. So you get that background. Then later, he's dealing with a criminal named Death Rattle, who claims to be able to see and speak to the dead. Something occurs that makes him look like a fraud. Officer Cash is like, I knew you couldn't talk to the dead, you liar. You're nothing but a bluff. And Death Rattle looks at him and goes, I know more than you think I do. And by the way, Cash, don't ever flip me off again. And Cash looks down at his hook. He goes, how did he know?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It's so good.
It's a cool idea.
It's fucking great. And you know, it does. Oh man, Warren White, the Wall Street guy, he goes through a transformation. That's all I'll say. Arkham definitely changes him. Heartily recommend. More people should read this one. It's phenomenal.
I'll add that to my list.
Absolutely. You ready to move on to our news? Sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say, how long is it?
It's pretty beefy because it's I think I had on Comixology. It collected together all the separate issues. It's let me pull it up on my account. I'm actually just gonna. I think it's like 150 pages.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, beefy for a comic, I guess. I've got lots of small news bulletins we can knock out leading up to like the big beefy beefaroni. Do you want to just
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Venom 2 gets a PG-13 rating and release date moved up to the very start of October. I suggest it be called Let There Be Carnage within reason. There's children present.
Yeah, a little lame how it's rated PG-13 again, especially since R-rated superhero movies do really well.
First one was supposed to be R2, but they just didn't do it. I don't know why.
The first one is one of my least favorite movies ever because I'm very attached to Venom and I just feel they did him dirty. And this one looks to continue to do him dirty, but when I saw a preview for it in a movie theater, it looks like Carnage is actually giving me what I want from Venom. So I don't know if I'm going to see this one in theaters, but maybe I'll give it more of a chance than I thought I would be.
Yeah, I will say, since they didn't go with the weird Carnage wig they used, I think he looks really good as Carnage.
Yeah. All right. Diary of a Wimpy Kid animated movie hitting Disney Plus in December.
Wish it wasn't hitting Disney Plus. I'd like to see it in theaters. I think that's a cool idea.
It is a very cool idea.
I distinctly remember not seeing the movies as a kid because I felt they should have just been animated from the start. So I feel very cathartically fulfilled.
Well, the movies that came out when you were a kid were really good.
Were they?
Yeah, the first three at least, not the long haul or whatever where they recast everybody. That was terrible.
So they're actually like good.
Yeah, they are actually, especially Roderick Rules is unironically a great like brothers drama sort of thing.
I mean, do they do more than retread the books?
Yeah. There's some like they'll recycle some of the like the plots, but there's some originality in there, and there's a lot of unique characterization that wasn't really present.
Oh, fascinating! I had no clue. We had a PlayStation event in which we got certified Tunican Thor in God of War Ragnarok. I'm having a hard time recalling other headlines from that one though, but I think there were.
He's getting a
God of War-
surprising number of simps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, God of War Ragnarok, the first one was really good. Let's just see where this one goes. I'm always I really like them to cover the Egyptian gods. I think I hope this is the last one with the Norse gods, because Norse mythology, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, has always been like the least interesting mythology to me. I'd say
Yeah.
Greek is at the apex. I think that's really cool. But then Egyptian like is just under as number 2. You could do so much cool stuff in Egypt.
Yeah, that hasn't been visited as much either. That has a lot of potential.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I'm with you there. Anthony Mackey is John Doe in the Twisted Metal in the upcoming Twisted Metal series.
Okay. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I got no investment in Twisted Metal.
I love Twisted Metal, but
I love Twisted Metal. Me too.
Wait, John Doe is Sweet Tooth, right?
Nope, no, that's Needles Cane. John Doe drives Roadkill in Twisted Metal Black. He's the amnesiac.
Oh God, what's his plot twist in that game?
It is. He has the biggest bummer ending of all time. He's an amnesiac the whole time. He gets his memory, and he gets like vague flashbacks to being part of a doomsday cult. When he wins, Calypso gives him back his memory, and he's like, "I wasn't part of the cult. I was undercover. I saved a ton of people. I was a hero." And then I realized I was an undercover FBI agent in front of one of the most wanted men in the world. And then Calypso just pulls out a gun, and it's over.
Oh, damn. Twisted Metal Black is really good.
We gotta, I mean, it sounds like, I think a show might kind of suck, but if this gets more interest in Twisted Metal again, that we can get fucking another one after nearly a decade, I'm all for it.
Oh yeah, and the newest one was lame because it only had 3 characters.
The game itself and the stories itself were good, but I agree we could have gotten, like, more out of it.
Yeah.
Last small... Oh, sorry, did you want to add something?
I was just going to say, I'm looking forward to see who they cast as Sweet Tooth, because that's a very specific role that you've got to... I hope they don't just make him, like, big, dumb, silent killer. I hope they give him that fun personality.
J.S., I don't even know, his voice actor, J.S. Gilbert, is so distinct that I'd have a hard time picturing anyone else. That is one of the best evil voices ever.
I think it should be Tom Holland.
Want some ice cream? It's me, Sweet Tooth. Last mini one. Pokemon Oreos disrupts Nabisco workers' protest.
Of course. I mean,
perfect timing. Like they had that ready to go as soon as somebody protested them.
They were like, release the Pokemon.
I think it just kind of shows that it's very disappointing. Like it's basically the epitome of a bra moment. Like the Pokemon fans just let these workers down.
It sucks, and there's like a collecting element to it. It's everything that could have sucked. All right, we ready for Nintendo Direct? My favorite Direct in a while. Not so much for you guys, as I recall.
I didn't hate it.
Nothing really interested me.
Let's go through. So, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. I think this looks amazing.
It looks cool. I don't really care about Kirby though.
I agree with Dev.
I like Kirby, but I'm kind of like, Kirby Superstar, one of my favorite games ever. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Some of my fondest gaming memories are Kirby, but they tend to be the same thing over and over. But now it's like, we're going to give Kirby the fucking Y-axis, and I'm looking forward to it.
My problem with Kirby games is they're made for beginner gamers, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, I played Kirby in the Planet Robobot and was so bored because it was just so easy.
I like that one. I mean, I guess I'm just I don't need to justify it. I just love Kirby. I did talk about Yoshi's story shortly ago, so you guys gotta be aware of the wavelength I'm at.
Yeah, I would have
Games
liked like
made
an
for
Odyssey
children.
sequel.
Yeah, I would like that too. That would have been cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that out yet, but I guess we'll see.
No.
Okay. Switch Online expansion pack, including N64 and Genesis games.
Hate it. Slap in the face. Terrible.
Yeah, it sucks
I
that you
wanted
have
to
to like
love it.
pay for it.
I know. See, I want it because they showed Mario Tennis, they showed Yoshi's Story, they showed F-Zero X, some of my favorite games fucking ever. And then the guy, I can't remember who was talking over it, was like, we'll reveal the cost at a later date. And I was like, that's not a good sign.
This should have happened 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, them not doing Virtual Console was already bad enough, but then had this being the replacement, I mean, come on.
And like I said, I just found the retro game store. Maybe I'll find a copy of F-Zero X there. I'm so for the preservation of old games like this, but not like the.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the price won't be so bad. Maybe this audio bite will end up on poorly aged things.
Well, I mean, if you're all for preservation, then might I suggest a little yo-ho-ho?
True.
We'll sail the high seas.
You have a point. I just love physical copies. I love to have my actual Japanese cartridge of Yoshi.
That's true. Yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah. Skipping over. Okay. Bayonetta 3.
Best trailer in the direct, and I don't even really care about Bayonetta.
I'm like Tex Avery wolfing here. I'm like, my eyes are bulging out. I got my heart is like making an indent in its chest. I am so about this. This looks amazing.
I'm happy for Bayonetta fans. They're finally getting something.
I could not care less, unfortunately. I never liked Bayonetta, so I guess I'm with it. Huh?
You've never tried it.
It just doesn't appeal to me. I think it's
by the same person who made Devil May Cry.
I was gonna say, it looks very Devil May Cry. I think that would be kind of up your alley.
Bayonetta herself has never like appealed to me as a character.
I see how it is.
Call me all the funny things you want. Bayonetta is just one of those characters that I like. I can see why people like her, but those are probably a lot of the reasons why I don't.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Splatoon 3. What do you guys make of this?
Don't care. I mean, it's weird that they're making like a new one already, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a little too soon for a sequel, but I'm looking forward to it. I like Splatoon.
I love Splatoon 1. I haven't played 2 yet. But the
2's good.
Thing is, every Splatoon sequel almost just looks like DLC for the first one. Like, it kind of just looks like more stuff added. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of keep expecting more visual fidelity or something.
I think 2 was justified.
Sorry, what was that? You both spoke at the same time. I'm sorry.
Here, ladies first. Go ahead, Dav.
Oh, okay, thank you. Anyway, I think that 2 was justified because it was a new console, and then there were some graphical improvements, but 3 is probably going to look exactly the same.
I'll probably give it a try, just because I kind of missed the bus on 2, and I sold my Wii U, so I can't play 1 anymore. Let's see. Skipping that one. Animal Crossing's getting Brewster! Whoa!
I've lost interest in that game. There's just so much nothing for too long.
I could maybe go back to it, but I'm terrified to think of how my villagers would react.
They're just like, why did you abandon me, Tommy?
Man, I don't know if I can look Rodney in the eyes again.
Rodney's like rotting, his eyes popped out of his skull.
Maybe I'll just start a new save file. I have the Rodney amiibo card, so I can just get him back right away.
Is that the only one you care about, Rodney?
I love so many of them, but I feel like I hit a wall in how intentionally I would get villagers on my island that kind of stopped being fun. I've been tempted to reset and just have Rodney, because he's the most important, and then kind of let luck flow more my way, because I'd go out of my way for so many I really like, it kind of like, when you get everything you want, it's like, oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're
I
saying.
don't have a chance to actually attach myself to a villager I wouldn't have otherwise. All right. What else do I got? Sorry. So Mario Party Superstars. This looks pretty neat, but I'm also a little confused by it. Like, I feel like this
Same
could
here.
almost...
I think it's cool. Like it could be cool, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
It's just like a handful of the best boards from the classic games and a handful of the best mini games from the classic games, but all in HD.
Okay. Then I guess that's pretty cool. I think the new Mario Party had the ass numbingly stupid idea to have like the comrade mechanic. What do they call it again?
I think
The allies.
Allies.
Yeah. Probably like my least favorite thing in a Mario Party game.
It's really
besides, like,
overpowered.
I really cherish my memories playing that game with you guys, but then when Dad pointed out like that every time we played it, it was kind of the same game over and over, I was like, oh, you're
It's
right.
so shallow. There's so little content there.
It's fun once or twice, and then
And
I'm like...
This one has like one more board, and I think the same number of mini games. These aren't like $60 games to me. They're like $40.
Yeah.
I mean, Nintendo is unfortunately like the Disney,
That's true.
the Disney of video games, honestly.
What do you guys think of Metroid Dread?
Metroid Dread, I'd say is... Oh my gosh, my phone is going off. Metroid Dread looks like a ton of fun.
I'm like, I was into it at first. I'm feeling weirdly nonplussed about it.
Interesting.
What's that?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's just I haven't been following the Metroids. Like, my love for Metroid begins and ends with Super Metroid. I haven't had the chance to try any others. Something about... Do you guys feel the visuals are a little subpar?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks like
That's
a 3DS game.
Exactly. It's because they announced it kind of out of nowhere. It's coming out super fast. I'm like, am I gonna... And it's like, so am I gonna beat this in a night? Why am I paying why am I paying $60 for this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just also... It's kind of boring looking.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It doesn't look like it brings anything... I mean, obviously you have the Emmy mechanic where you're getting chased or whatever, but even that doesn't look like much more than what you would be used to in a Metroid game.
I like killer robots, so I'm looking forward to that moment, but I could agree it could be done poorly.
Kraid all chained up looks kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree on that.
And the visuals are just washed out and like gray, dark, whatever.
I hate to... When I was watching gameplay of it, I was like amped. So I don't know why... I think once reviews come out, I'll probably come around to giving it a try, but I can probably mostly afford one new game a month. And it's looking like Nick All-Stars might be PlayStation's new free game of the month, just by some weird hints here and there. Between Metroid and Monkey Ball, I might be getting Monkey Ball. I love those games.
I probably recommend that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. A couple other smaller things. Because there's one big old... Castlevania Advanced Collection looks really good.
Could be cool. Yeah, I love Castlevania.
And those are the ones where he plays the reincarnation of Dracula, I think.
I can't remember which one, but that's probably it, yeah.
Okay. I think those are most of the big ones, besides that scary-looking Disney game.
Oh, yeah.
Grossed me out. Super Mario movie gets its cast announced.
Jesus Christ.
Boy!
It's so insulting that Charles Martinet literally, created the character of he created all these characters and he's reduced to cameos.
It is.
I know he's probably excited to be in a movie, but, that's so... I feel so bad for him,
That is such a shame.
Yeah, some of the casting is fun. Jack Black as Bowser, that's cool. But Chris Pratt as this fat Italian plumber?
I think Chris Pratt is Mario. Well, I was going to say that's the only truly bad casting, but that's not true. Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong is also I think Charlie Day as Luigi is honestly pretty funny.
That is a really good choice too.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, is a great actress, but so much of what makes her magnetic on screen is her distinctive look and how she carries herself. I don't know what her voice brings to Princess Peach, so that's more.
Yeah. Even in the Queen's Gambit, she didn't do a whole lot of talking.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all in the eyes and like how she. Last Night in Soho looks so good.
She's a very physical actor.
Yeah, so I don't know what they were thinking putting her as Princess Peach.
My theory, though, about Charles Martinet, and I know Illumination is going to find some way to do this, 100% chance he's playing Waluigi.
What?
You think so?
I absolutely am certain. Okay, think of Illumination. Think of the trends they like to hop on. Who's the most popular Mario character lately?
I guess Waluigi.
They're going to put him in the movie one way or another, even if it's just like a few lines. He's going to be there somehow.
I feel like Illumination is so... Like, if you watch the Sing 2 trailer, do you think those people are hip enough to be up on the why Waluigi is funny?
Yes.
I don't think
Waluigi's a mainstream meme.
I don't think they'd know why he's funny, but I do think they'd put him in there.
I see, yeah. Someone tweeted, like, I'm guessing one of Charles Martinet's cameos is going to be Mario sees someone talking like Mario in his voice, and Chris Pratt will be like, huh, what a weirdo.
Oh, like Dante and DMC Devil May Cry when he gets the wig.
Yeah, never in a million years. If I were in charge, here's what I would do. Here's my solution. Because I could imagine having your hands tied that you need... as stupid as the celebrity thing is, what I would do is cast Charles Martinet as Mario and have him babble and be indecipherable as he is in the games. Have him be like the single Muppet figure among the celebrities. Still have maybe Charlie Day as Luigi, whatever else. I think there's like some like slapstick to be mined from everyone kind of being normal and surrounded by just a Charles Martinet Mario.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, Charles Martinet has said in an interview that he likes Mario so much because he approaches everything with optimism, but this is a kid's movie. There's going to be a moment where Mario and Luigi get into a fight and they break up and, Coldplay starts playing and Luigi looks at a picture of Mario and then they get back together.
I thought you were Super Mario.
Well, I think that Charles Martinet even has the chops to do like a fully voiced Mario.
He's been in like regular stuff before. He's an incredible actor.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted this out recently, but I mean, play Skyrim. I didn't even recognize his voice in that, and he's by far the best voice actor in that game.
Someone has a recording of an old production of A Christmas Carol where he plays Scrooge, and he's just being Wario. It's phenomenal.
That is pretty funny.
It's great. It's phenomenal. Interesting that it'll be an origin. So there are some deep cuts that make me think people who care about Mario are working on this. You got Foreman Spike, which is a deep cut. He's kind of the proto Wario Waluigi, and Cranky Kong is in it as well.
Yeah.
So, very curious.
It's, when it comes out, we'll all have to see it and just see what the heck happens.
Hey, do you think for Christmas you'll come visit home again? Because it's
absolutely. Yeah, I'm coming down every holiday.
Well, it's holiday next year, though.
Next year, but
I'll still be down. Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what an Illumination Mario would even look like. It's gonna be gross.
They changed the Grinch quite a bit. I could see them changing Mario quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Maybe not as much since Nintendo's directly involved, but we really will have to. It's going to be a pretty unique case.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is going to be pretty bad. I feel like Sonic, people gave a lot of benefit of the doubt to because he's such an underdog. Whereas I don't think Mario is going to be given that same grace. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
No.
No, I think this is going to be kind of a disaster. Well, I think that's... Do you guys have any other small news bulletins you want to...
I think that about covered it. That's the biggest stuff that happened.
Play Lost Judgment?
I lost Judgement. Well, thanks
And
for
on
joining
that
us. Thanks for joining us for another month of West Coast Toast and Roast. Tune in next month, where you'll hear Will say,
Man, I was right. This Smash character sucks.